Yo everyone, what's going on? Couriway here, and in this video, I wanted to do something that has been suggested by a ton of people, and that was to speedrun the Dream SMP seed. If you enjoy this video, let me know with a like on it. If we hit 4,000 likes within the first 24 hours, I'll post the full video of me routing the seed as my next video. The recent support has been unbelievable, and I wish I could describe better how much your support has meant to me. Just know I'm forever grateful. Also, chances are that if you're watching this video, you may not be subscribed. So if you like this video and are interested in more from me in the future, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And with that all out of the way, let's get into the video. Alrighty, so let's talk about this run, shall we? This was beyond challenging, and I truly mean that. This was by far the hardest thing in speedrunning I've ever tried to do, period. The seed is not optimized for speedrunning. Obviously, it's just a random seed that was picked to be the seed for an SMP that they probably did no prior research or anything on. They probably just picked a random world, and it's beyond unoptimized. It doesn't have a village, which isn't even that big of a deal, but the Bastion is just horrendous, and the travel is torturous. Genuinely just so challenging of a run. So you may be thinking, Curry, well, why did you want to do a video on this? Well, first off, it was recommended by so many people, and I thought it was a really interesting idea as well, and I was genuinely surprised that I hadn't seen anyone do it before. I figured it would be something that someone would have attempted, and to my surprise, no one had. And I understand why now. This was, like, I can't even put into words how difficult this was. This took over a full day of attempts, like straight, easily over 12 hours of runs to try and get an attempt that was respectable. And in my eyes, respectable was sub 19. I knew it could be sub 20s, but I wanted a bit faster, so I was thinking sub 19. I'm not going to spoil what the actual time for this run is, but it is obviously under sub 19, which is very nice. And I also highly recommend you stay until the end of the video. I'm not just saying that. This end fight was the craziest that I've ever had in a run personally, and easily the craziest run that I've ever finished with an end fight. It was challenging to say the least there. So you may be wondering what I've been doing. I've kind of just been talking about the run in general. So right now I'm grabbing a bunch of wood to do two things that I've done in two previous speedruns. I'm going to be grabbing all of this wood to speed bridge and also to climb across the Soul Sand Valley, which we did in two different speedruns. And I'm going to grab an insane amount of wood here. I think I'm going to grab 35 or 36 logs because that is how much wood I need to the T. And I'm actually going to end up grabbing more wood later for beds. So it is just absolutely insane how much wood I need to get here. And this was all, again, like very heavily routed like a set seed, and just completely refined over the time that I did my attempts. And like I said in the beginning of this video, if you are interested in seeing the routing, I put a link in my previous video, which was the Christmas video, to the routing that I did for that video as unlisted. But I'd be curious what the general audience thinks on videos like that, and I figured this would be a good video to test that. So if you are interested in that, leave a like, and I will definitely upload that as the next video. But right now, I smelted all the iron. I made iron pickaxe, made a bucket, made a flint and steel. And now we're going to talk about another thing that made this run incredibly challenging, which was the mob spawning. And what I mean by that is specifically food. So since this is villageless, I'm on my own for food, right? So I have a couple options. I can make mushroom stew, and I can kill animals, and that's about it, because I'm not going to farm, right? So those are my two options. And based on how world generation works in 1.16, mobs are part of world generation, if that makes sense. So for example, you just saw me kill two pigs. Those two pigs are there every single time. Sometimes one is a baby pig, but it's always two pigs. And same thing with the sheep. This sheep is here every single time. But there would be some runs where I wouldn't end up killing the sheep because it would be too far out of the way, or would just run off, or, you know, random things like that. Sometimes in runs, I would get a chicken near the pigs, but sometimes he would go down the mountain and it wouldn't be worth to get him. So food was always a struggle, as I completely mess up my portal here. But you know what? Still a sub 4 enter, so I was happy. I misplaced that water bucket way too many times for my own comfort. But yeah, there were a ton of different factors with food. So I would, like, pretty much calculate my run chances based on how much food I had. And here we go, directly into a speed bridge off the portal. This was insanely challenging as well, not only because of the speed bridge, but because I would get shot off by gas multiple times. You can see there's a gas on the screen right now, but thankfully this one was not, was not angry. So I was very happy about that. But there were multiple times that two gas would be shooting me at once. It was not a fun time. Speed bridging aside, we make it over here, and now we are going to mine some gold, which is very useful since we'll be going to a bastion, which is pretty much in Narnia, to be honest. And then this piglin also hits me, which I shouldn't have let him do. But you know what? It's okay. We finished the run. A lot of damage I took was serious, based on the food things, right? So I knew my food was very low, so I didn't want to take a bunch of damage. I just knocked that piglin off. So I tried to be as careful as I possibly could with my food, right? I could not waste any. Now, right now, I'm checking how much gold I got. I have enough to make gold boots, so that's what I'm doing. And then I'm going to boat down here to the fortress once 5-minute lag happens and get to the blaze spawner. So, as I said before, this run is not optimized, or I shouldn't say this run. This seed is not optimized for speedrunning. The run itself is very, very, very optimized for speedrunning, but the seed itself is not. However, there's one really nice thing about this seed, and specifically the stronghold that I go to, and that is the fact that the portal is a 4-eye. Now, what does that mean? That means I realistically only need to get 5 blaze rods from this spawner, and I'm 100% safe. So I'm going to throw my always 2 eyes when I get out of the run, or when I get out of the nether, excuse me. A lot of people have asked why, Curry, if you're doing this as a set seed run, why do you still throw the eyes? I personally like to make it look as much like an RSG run as possible. I don't like the idea as much of just portaling. I would love to portal into the stronghold, but that's going to be really hard. But I don't like the idea of just coming out of the nether and immediately digging down. I want it to look somewhat realistic for you guys, right? So that's why I do that. I get a couple comments about that all the time. You can see here, there was piglin and blazes were spawning everywhere. I'm checking my blaze rods just to see how many I have. I think I have 4 at this point. And yeah, these piglin were not helping, to be honest, but the blaze rod, or the blaze spawn rates here were amazing. The blaze drop rates were like average, so I'll take that. So just killing like 2 more. I think I killed 1 more and then I'm out, right? Yeah. So I'm out here at the 640 mark, which is like pretty good for my attempts here. I had, I think, 2 runs total leave this point at like 5 minutes. And now we get into my personal favorite part of the run, which is the movement here. This is awesome. This was my favorite part to route. I always enjoyed routing the movement part because that is something that I feel like I'm very good at in Minecraft. This was so much fun. I utilized boats, I utilized blocks, I utilized mushroom placements because, again, food coming back. Mushroom stew, big thing in this run. Thankfully, in this run, I got 4 pork chop, which is pretty good. It's average, I think, and then I got 2 mutton, which is above average, so I was pretty good on food. Plus, that blaze fight was really fast, and they didn't take too much damage, right? So my food situation's pretty good. But there were a lot of runs where I would be like out of food at this point, or only have 1 pork chop left, and I would have to rely on getting mushrooms and making mushroom stew. And actually, something that I did in a lot of previous runs that I ended up stopped doing because it wasted too much time, or not wasted too much time, but really just became unnecessary, was I would grab dandelions or suspicious stew to make that. And for those of you who don't know, suspicious stew with dandelions makes a saturation effect, so hunger is a lot less severe, right? So that was something that I was trying to do that helped a lot. But it got to the point where if it was a really good run, I wouldn't really need that, so I just kind of stopped grabbing dandelions. Here you see the only 4 red mushrooms that are realistic for me to grab, that are like completely in the way. And then we're going to jump over 2 more small lava pools and head on to this bastion. Now, something really cool about this bastion is that it's stables, which is probably the most annoying bastion for RSG players. And I really like stables, actually, because it's pretty easy to route when you get a good stables. But the reason I say it's the most annoying is because it's the most inconsistent. Compared to the other bastions, stables is the only one where you may not get gold. So obviously I made sure beforehand that the stables did have gold, which is really good. And thankfully it doesn't like regenerate every time you relive the world. It's always going to be a good bastion, so that was really nice. Here I'm grabbing the bed that I'm going to end up using for my beds. I think I said bed. I meant wood. That's the wood I'm grabbing for the beds. And we're going to do nice jumps over here. My movement there wasn't too clean, but I was honestly like very nervous at this point. This was actually done on Christmas Eve. I think you're seeing this on the 26th, but I'm recording this and also recorded this run on the 24th because I wanted a prep video so I didn't have to worry about it for Christmas. And like I said, yeah, this was absolutely torturous. And this part was the most fun, but I only got here, I want to say, like 12 times. And the reason this run was so torturous is because there were a lot of things out of my control. Like, it was a hard run, don't get me wrong, but this Bastion, the thing about this Bastion too, like I said, very inconsistent even with a good section. So I'm relying here basically on string trades and the ability to get Crying Obsidian for respawn anchors. And I think in this run, I actually don't need to use Crying Obsidian. I get like an absurd amount of string trades, which is really nice. But there were a lot of runs that died to not getting the string or the respawn anchors, and that would just be painful, right? Like it would kill the run. Like, the run's dead at that point. I can't do anything, and that would be it. So a lot of runs died to Bastion. I'm entering the Bastion in about 10 minutes, which is above average for my pace. I would normally be entering around 10:30. I stopped to kill another Hoglin because I wasn't too set on my food, and since he was right here, I thought, why not? You know, I'd rather play it safe with my food, take like a 5-second time loss, and be smart about it rather than wasting time with the soup later on. So that was really nice. And now I'm going to set up this Bastion, which works out. I'm going to mine these blocks to get the gold blocks. A lot of people have been asking me to do Bastion videos. I'm actually starting to get in the camp of I'm going to make one specifically for just kind of showing you all where the gold blocks are, and leave all the routing links in the description just so you can see kind of what I'm doing here, and maybe talk about which Bastions are better, which ones I prefer, which other things that you can utilize in Bastions, things like that, just because I get a lot of comments about it and I want to help you all speedrun as much as possible. My goal with these videos is to make speedrunning as accessible as possible because it's something that I truly enjoy that I never thought I would enjoy. So I want to try and give other people that joy too through these videos, and thankfully I think it's worked. I think a lot of people have picked up speedrunning through these videos, and that's honestly super awesome to see. So if you started speedrunning because of me or my videos, I see you. I think you're awesome, and go get a PB. Good luck on your runs. So right now you can see I get a Christmas chest because I recorded this on Christmas Eve, and I get 4 obsidian, and this was the other crucial thing about the run. I'm also relying on obsidian trades because this is the only chest in this Bastion with any amount of obsidian that I could reasonably get to. So again, some runs I'd have the string, some runs I'd have the respawn anchors, some runs I'd have the pearls, but not the obsidian. And that's, again, a hard reset at like an 11-12 minute mark, which is just awful. Here you can see that my string is just bonkers. I'm only waiting on obsidian. I forgot about this. This run almost died to obsidian. I have 21 gold to get 2 pieces of obsidian, which I should get, and I'm just sitting here waiting, praying basically. Please give me the obsidian. I decided to make more food just in case, because why not? I'm just sitting here waiting. So I'm able to make all my stew, which is very nice. I'm able to turn my logs into planks for the beds, and I'm literally just sitting here for this 9th piece of obsidian, waiting, just hoping. And these piglin were not cooperating at all. I finally get it, and we are out of here. And we are going to do some funky throws to get to where we need to go. These piglin were also just completely all in the way, not helping. But here we go. Fire res popped. Officially leaving the Bastion at the 1250 mark. And we're going to do some crazy pearling. This was super fun, again, to route. I think this stuff is super interesting. But then again, I'm like a complete Minecraft nerd. I don't think you will find a bigger Minecraft nerd than myself. So, pearl up here. And I think we have 3 or 4 more pearls. I think I only throw like 3 more because I had the soul sand, which was really nice. Getting those soul sand boots from the piglin is actually a pretty big time save because you can just, you go like that. And I think, don't quote me on this, but I think if you throw ender pearls on soul sand when you have soul speed, like with the speed effect, you throw them farther. I could be totally wrong, but I think I've seen people do that, but don't quote me on it. That's just something that I think might be correct. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is where I'm building the portal. I forgot about this. Oh my gosh. So I almost die here because I'm getting shot at by a 2 gas. The gas breaks my portal. I relight it, and the skeleton is shooting at me. So I like try to hit him to the side, and I'm just praying I get through this portal, and I do. Thankfully, at the 14-minute mark, we are on our way. This is also another thing that I've talked about in a previous video, but this stronghold is extra regional, which means that, or actually no, I'm sorry, this stronghold is not extra regional. No structure I went to in this is extra regional. This stronghold is something called second ring. So strongholds generate in rings around your world. Most people in 95% of speedruns, 99%, go to the first ring because that's always what's closer. But second ring starts to generate around like the 3,000-ish block mark. So I decided to go to that since the bastion was so far out rather than pearl all the way back for first ring. But yeah, I think this was the smart play. You can see I'm 5,000 blocks out on my Z. So definitely super far out. But this stronghold, again, not far from my portal. It's a 4-eye, which is amazing. Saves me so much time. Even though I still got 6 blaze rods here, like you saw 1 eye break. So even if I left with 5, I would have been fine. And it, like I said, it saved so many runs because my blaze rod luck throughout it was just absolutely abysmal. So here we are in the or not in the portal room, excuse me, heading to the portal room in the stronghold, grabbing a piece of bread for literally no reason because I have 4 stew in my inventory. There's the 4-eye, there's the eyes, boom, enter end at 15:15. This, again, is, I personally feel like, absolutely absurd pace for the seed. It is so unoptimized, or the seed, again, is so unoptimized, not the route itself. The route is extremely optimized, but the seed is so bad for speedrunning. I've gotten so many comments that are like, you should try and speedrun the hardest seed you can find. And 2 things. 1, you can't, there's no like a one hardest seed, because the hardest seed would realistically just be, there's not a fortress for 10,000 blocks. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know if that makes a fun video for everyone to watch. But secondly, I would say, I did speedrun the hardest seed. It's the Dream SMP world. It was, like I said, just torturous. I do not recommend anyone go through this. It was awful. I think the only cool thing, I mean, actually, let me say this. There were a lot of cool things about this run. I love the travel, right? The travel was sick. I love doing the parkour through basalt biomes. That is super awesome to me. But doing all that and then relying on the bastion was garbage. Like, just total, complete, absolute garbage. Not fun time. Speaking about a not fun time, this dragon, again, not cooperating. And like I said in the beginning, this end fight is absurd. So let's talk about it for a second. I have 6 beds. At this point, I'm shaking because I know I'm more nervous in this than I probably was in my world record run, because I know if I get this, I'm done. This video is finally over. And yeah, so here's the 1 cycle. I'm not going to spoil anything. It was just, let's just say I should be able to do this 1 cycle in 6 beds as my speedrunner, as a speedrunner of my caliber. And some things go a bit haywire, and yeah, it was just, I made it entertaining. I'll say that. I definitely made it entertaining. So here you go. Enjoy the 1 cycle, and just tell me how bad I am in the comments. God, dude. Oh, take it. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's done. And yeah, that's the run. Like I said, that's a tough ending. But I hope you enjoyed regardless. I hope you enjoyed my reaction. I was so relieved. I think you can tell. And yeah, I hope everyone had a great holidays. I'm going to keep trying to do every other day uploads. And like I've said in previous videos, I'm not sure when I'll be able to stream. My life has completely been upside down. And I'll probably talk about it a bit more whenever I start streaming. But it'll hopefully be soon. I'm really excited to. Again, thank you all so much for the support. I don't even know what to say. Mr. Beast commented on the Christmas video. I haven't even mentioned that. If you're watching this for some reason, again, Mr. Beast, yo, what's up? Let's do something, I guess. I don't know. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all again in the next video. Peace out, everyone.